Hello, Next Dimension Construction. This is Joel from JND SEO, and I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can beat your competition online. And I don't want to waste your time, I don't want to waste mine, so I'm going to make this as quick as possible. But at the end of the video, you guys want to hear more information, let's just set up a quick phone call and I can answer any questions for you. If not, no big deal. There's a bunch of free tips in here that you guys can use for your site, and maybe even make a few improvements. First thing we're going to talk about today is content. Second thing we're going to talk about is citations. And the third thing we're going to talk about is backlinks. So let's start with content. So I'm on your homepage, and what Google really recommends is having about 1,500 to 2,000 words of content on a homepage. The reason why is because if you have that much content, they know that you're offering a lot of information to people online. And that's what they're really looking for. The one alternative to having that much content, you guys do have a good chunk on your page. I don't think you quite have those numbers, but you do have a lot, is if you have a blog. 'Cause blogs also kind of have that same effect where they're going to offer a lot of information and help to people as well as tips and whatnot. So just to compare, I'm going to use Allen Lindsay Roofing as the example. The reason why they're based out of the same location as you guys in Ocala, and honestly, they're kind of the top dog on the rankings right now on Google. So I want to use them as the example because that's your competition. That's who you want to beat. So if you look at Allen Lindsay's page, you can tell they also have nowhere near 1,500 to 2,000. They have even less content than you guys have. They also don't have a blog. So that's not something that's going to be giving them any kind of extra boost there. But so the other reason that you do want to have that much content, though, is that the more content you have, the more keywords or key phrases you can put into that content. As a quick example, I've just put in roofing Ocala, Florida as my example. This is what a new customer would search for because there's no specific company. They're just looking for a company, right? And it's also a really good volume search, and that's the other reason why I've used it. So if we kind of look through their eyes, first thing they see are these ads. Second thing they're going to see is this map section. This is going to bring us to our second point or tip today, and that's going to be talking about citations. So citations are really what gets you in this map section. This is also called the GMB or Google My Business. And essentially you want to have those citations to get that. These 3 are on the preview screen. If you click view all, you could see the rest in the area. As long as they do have their name, address, and phone number all listed together, it has to be those 3 things. Then you're going to have at least a citation. And the more you have, the more. And the way to get these is to get listed in directory sites. These are sites like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Home Advisor, just to name a few. Another way to do it, you can use social media. So if you have a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Yelp, all of those, as many as you have, linking all of those to your website, and you have to make sure there's not a single difference, right? So there can't be an extra space. You can't have LLC on one and not on the other. You can't write the and symbol on one and the word on the other. It has to be the exact same. And they'll all link and give you more of these. The more you have and the more related they are to roofing or construction, the stronger they're going to be, and they're going to help you crack the top 3 for that. So then we get into our organic section. What we see here is that for our phrase roofing Ocala, Florida, for our keyword, GAF.com is number 1. That's a directory. 2 is Allen Lindsay, our competitor here that we're talking about. 3 is Better Business Bureau. 4 is going to be Ocala Roofing. 5 is Home Advisor. Now, when you see a lot of directories, those actually, a lot of people think those are difficult to beat. They're actually not, because Google actually prefers local companies to be ahead of them on the rankings than they do to have directories. So as long as you have some pretty solid backlinks, which we're going to talk about here in a second, and it's going to show up more keywords and getting more referring domains. It's going to help you to beat those. So next we're going to talk about your website. So I've put your web address, roofingocalafl.com, into a program called Ahrefs. This just allows me to kind of analyze your site. And first thing I do notice here before I jump into our third topic, which is backlinks, is that I want to talk about you guys are using your header. So that's a really good thing. We've got your company name here as well as a few keywords. That's really good. This helps Google to find you a little bit easier. And now let's dive into your backlinks. So backlinks and referring domains really go together. Referring domains are just websites that you have these links on. So right now you have 46 websites that you have links on. On those 46 sites, you have 190 links. So you've got a little more than about 4 or so per website. And these work The way it works is that if somebody clicks on one of these links, it's going to redirect you back to your page. So for instance, if we use a Facebook business page as an example, where they have the web address there, you could list your site, roofingocalafl.com. When somebody clicks it, it goes right to your page, right? So that essentially would be a referring domain, and that would be a link on the page. You can have more than one per page. They don't have to be hyperlinks. They could also be pictures or buttons. And the more you have, these are basically these sites vouching for you. So that's going to increase your trust. And the more of these you have, the more keywords you're going to have that show up. Keywords are what really bring the visitors to your site. Right now, you guys are showing 10, but we're not seeing any visitors coming from those 10 right now. So it probably has to do with how those are ranking. So we'll take a look at those in a second. What I want to also do is quickly jump over to Allen Lindsay, see what they've got going on. You can see they've got the headers up here, their name, as well as a few keywords. They've got 10 referring domains, so not that many, and they've got 24 links attached to those. So not a ton here. Their trust is a 13, so not that high. But they do have 43 keywords, and those keywords are doing some work, putting in 122 visitors into their page. So let's start with your keywords. Let's see what you guys have. You've got the 10 right here. So we've got roofing contractors, Ocala, Florida. This is a really good one. This brings in new customers. As you can see, there's no name attached to it. 100 people do search it, so that's why we like that one. And you guys, the problem that we're seeing is that you're ranked number 55 for that. So there's 10 results that show up per page. 55, as you can do the math, is going to put you on page 6. So what we're seeing is it's actually not bringing you any visitors. So we're getting 0 traffic. The higher this is up, so if you were number 1, for instance, for position, you could expect between 25-35% of the overall volume. But obviously, being this far back, you're not going to get any. Really, you want to be on that first page in the top 10 for position. We found 80-85% of people won't even go to page 2, so being on that first page is detrimental to getting those visitors. If we jump over to Allen Lindsay, we see the first one they have is Roofing Ocala, Florida. This was our example, and this is why, because it's got 250 volume. And they're number 1, so as you can see, they're getting about 78 visitors of that 250, so they're getting a really nice percentage there. Roofing contractors, Ocala FL, 100 more search it like that. They're number 5, and so number 5 isn't going to give you as high of a percentage, so you're going to get only 8 of the 100, so 8%, much lower than if you're at the top there. So the higher you are up, the better. And the more you have in the top 10, the more visitors you're going to get, but you can see the difference here, where these numbers are not nearly as big as that first one, so they're actually getting most of their visitors from this top page here. So you could see we're getting number 1, just for this one, could net you about 78 visitors to your site. So what we've actually found is, getting about 3 to 5 keywords ranked in the top 3, that should bring in about 100 visitors. 100 visitors is what you could expect from your page. About 100 visitors to your page should bring in about 20 to 30 actual phone calls to your number. Depending on what your conversion ratio is with estimates and closing those jobs, that should be anywhere between 2 and 4 jobs a month. And that's just for 100. Obviously, the goal would be more, but you start with about 100, and then you work your way up after that, and add more to that and keep going. Now, I've given you guys this information, so there's 3 things you can do. You could do nothing with it if you're happy with where you're at. If you guys have someone that you currently work with that does some of this for you, I would definitely recommend showing this to them. It's got some good tips in it that should be able to help you guys out. If not, if you guys have any questions and you want to hear more information, definitely feel free to reach out. I'll reach out to you guys and just ask you without the video. Thank you for your time and have a great night.